Thanks a lot for organizing this fantastic online event. Thanks a lot to all of you guys for joining. And I would like to start, since we announced that the topic will be mainly STO, and then if we manage to cover some of the things for crypto exchanges, we do so. My first question, or rather a topic to discuss with the audience, would be if you conduct a security token offering, how you choose a country or a jurisdiction where to do it. We have already prepared some sort of checklist or sort of algorithm how to choose a country. And in my experience, in our experience, it is really important to start with your investors and your clients, where they are located. Because a lot of crypto projects, they choose a country to do their project in just by saying, oh, we've heard Switzerland is crypto friendly, or we've heard Estonia is crypto friendly, or we do it on Cayman Islands, without really considering a lot of factors which are important. And a major factor for security token offering is that security token normally is considered to be financial instruments in most of the jurisdictions, which means that the national regulator, it is really up to the national regulator to have rules in place which regulate how you issue a security token, on traditional securities or new securities, but in any way it is considered in most of the cases financial instrument. There is another question a lot of projects ask us: can we just issue security token in one country and distribute it all over the world? No, guys, unfortunately. It would be nice to have, maybe, but the world for now doesn't function this way. And the regulations for now do not function this way. Normally, you have to have to issue your security tokens, your tokenized financial instruments, in the country or in the market where your investors are. And that's why I would like to give brief introduction maybe on the US, though I'm not a US lawyer, and this is not any sort of legal advice or solicitation, no way. RLP Lawyers, we're based in Liechtenstein. We do some of the projects both in Switzerland and in Liechtenstein. And we have seen projects which target investors, for example, both in Switzerland, let's say, and in US. In Switzerland, most likely, you would need to register a prospectus, while from the beginning of 2020, they have changed the regulations. And it means, and for now, you need to register prospectus. Before 2020, you didn't have to. Another important thing regarding to Switzerland is that they've introduced a fantastic DLT securities draft law. And I believe that Switzerland, FINMA, Federal Council have done a really great job to develop the regulatory framework in general for all types of crypto projects, and especially for security tokens, to allow a lot of assets, traditional securities, and some other illiquid objects like real estate, collectible cars, art, etc., to be tokenized. And I've been working for at least a couple of years. Federal Council prepared a great report for any sort of crypto projects, which I really advise people to read before they do it in Switzerland. And the DLT law gives actually the a really great framework for security tokens to be issued first and then to be transferred on the secondary market on the blockchain. This is actually the main thing which you have to know. And if you, for example, we have seen projects which have done some of the security token offerings in Switzerland, and then they do it in the US. Again, since Cal is missing, I have to sort of cover briefly his part. In the US, you mostly do it on the Reg D. You prepare the documents, you do not really file them. You go under the exemptions. and you use the Reg D, which mostly is only for accredited investors. So you have to keep it in mind. But for a lot of hedge funds, institutional larger investors, it is not a problem. And we have seen that US, let's say institutional larger investors, that they invest in security token offerings. Of course, if these are quality projects, they conduct their own due diligence. I totally agree with you that it is actually a more or less a patchwork of national regulations or fragmented regulations, and we talking when we're talking broadly, we talk actually about fragmented regulation and legal uncertainty in a lot of points which refer to security tokens. And this is all also because the market of security tokens is in a very early stage. Yeah. And we have all of us, the lawyers, the exchanges, the regulators, the governments. For all of us, it is a lot of learning by doing. And just to mention an example of Liechtenstein, because they've already gone through the regulatory work. They've been working for 3 years on the Liechtenstein Blockchain Act, which should be, I would say, quite a unique basis for assets tokenization. Yes, they use sort of national legislation, civil legislation, for what token is, how you transfer a token, how you do a registry of security tokens on blockchain. But on the other hand, of course, if a token qualifies as a financial instrument, then all of the European regulations are applied. And most likely, if you would like to have your prospectus for security tokens profitable on a European market, you would need to register a prospectus with the regulator. And there are around, if I'm not mistaken, over 15 STOs in Switzerland and around 7 in Liechtenstein. So just the number shows us that on the one hand, it is interesting, both for projects and investors, but on the other hand, also there is a lot of work to do in regards to regulation and how it is applied in real life and how it should work. Also because of the lack of secondary markets, the secondary trading platforms in the EU, that is a major issue. Kiana has also brought this up, that having just a crypto exchange for cryptocurrency is one thing, but having an MTF for security tokens is a way more difficult thing. And there is, I think, one platform that has got a license, but they're not operational yet in Liechtenstein, and I haven't heard about many others in Europe which are right now in the process of getting their license. It's just, on the one hand, it is a very interesting market, but on the other hand, it is a lot of work to be done, and a lot of projects really, especially from crypto area, I think that they underestimate the amount of regulatory work that they have to do before they can launch a security token, or especially before they can obtain a license for trading in security tokens.